Well, good evening, pulling fans. Boy, we got a good show tonight. We've got Kendra Barnhart from Interstate Truck and Tractor Pullers, and also we got a co-host, Mike Walker. We don't have him on video chat yet, but we do have him on the telephone. So we do have a live chat. If you have any questions you want to ask, we just ask that you keep the dirty words away because we may have some kids on here, and just get along with everybody. No fighting. So. Kendra, how are you?
Yes, I'm good. How are you?
I'm just as good as I can be, I reckon. Mikey?
Good deal.
Mikey's in here somewhere. Ah, there he is. Okay. So anyway, tell us a little bit, Kendra. What's going on with Interstate Truck and Tractor Pullers, and other than the COVID-19?
I was going to say COVID-19 is what's going on with Interstate Truck and Tractor Pullers.
Yeah, everywhere, unfortunately.
Lots of cancellations, quite a few rescheduling, which is good.
Yes.
Hoping to have our first points hook in June on the 14th down in Westminster, Maryland. As you said with Terry, Maryland is up in the air right now, but we are still hopeful. They're holding out.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania is opening up, which is good because we do have a lot of Pennsylvania pools in a lot of the yellow and green counties already. And then Virginia remains to be unseen. So a lot of it is, like Terry said, it's a waiting game. A lot of fair boards meeting here in the next couple weeks. So it's going to be still a lot of changes to come. So just ask everybody to keep an eye on our website. Lisa is doing an amazing job with keeping everything updated. She has everything canceled on the home screen as well as keeping a run on the screen.
Getting a little coach in there. So back. It's harder than it looks. So that's when you don't get a nice McCall hook. I'm a Smith from Chambersburg.
Just cut that off. I'll take care of that problem. They said the video was playing noise over top of us. I don't know why it shouldn't be doing that, but it is.
Oh.
But anyway. Okay. Any new vehicles coming out that you know of, or any big plans?
I have not heard of any. It's kind of funny. Right after Keystone and all of that had to be canceled, a lot of people were calling me as we were all heading down 81, saying that there was a black mod turbo looking tractor heading north, and I'm like, I thought I hit everybody, but maybe I didn't.
Right.
And I did hear that an old puller did sell a tractor that went to northern Pennsylvania, maybe New York. So maybe we'll see that tractor again. Not really sure what it's going to be if it's going to be changed from something other than a mod turbo. I do know of a couple tractors in Virginia in the light limited class that were being built. Not sure if they're going to be out. You know, with this crazy COVID thing, nobody knows
Yeah.
what's happening with people's finances and stuff like that.
Yeah, I really feel bad for the guys that, you know, built a tractor or really made some major upgrades and spent a lot of money. Some of them may have come to Keystone and didn't even get the chance to do anything. So
there was a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was talking to pullers in the pits Friday morning, there was a lot of, man, I was really hoping to see if all that I did this winter paid off. And I'm like, well,
Yeah. Yeah, it was unfortunate.
because like you said the other night, Keystone is sometimes kind of a test and tune weekend, and very disappointing. But
Yeah.
hey, we're gonna be pulling soon. So
Yeah, the aftermath was no fun, trust me.
yeah,
We got through it.
yep, we got through it. So
Out of talking about Keystone, there was a question asked, and
okay,
they do not have dates set just yet, but soon. We're supposed to, well, we hope to get to go pulling sometime, but being an indoor state-owned building, by the time March gets back around here, we hope we get to go pulling there again. But there are dates coming soon, so we'll release those whenever we get them. So, how's Fern doing?
Vern's doing good. He is a nurse in a hospital. So he's of course been dealing with all of this COVID crisis. I don't think he's been directly dealing with the COVID patients, so that's one good thing. But he says things are getting back to normal in his world, so that's always promising. Actually, just talked to him the other night. He's actually starting to work on the tractors again.
Good.
So that's promising.
I had no idea. I'm sorry, go ahead.
He was down to the wire with Keystone. But, and then of course it got canceled. I think he was working on the tractor till 4 o'clock in the morning Friday. And then I texted him at 5 a.m. and said it was canceled. So
you gotta love pulling to have that many tractors for one, and then spend that much time. Of course, you got to work on them. That's part of the game.
Yep. And he loves the wrenching just as much as he loves going down the track. So it all works out.
That's great.
But yeah, I think he's really geared up for Snyder County. So he's putting the final touches on some of the tractors, and I think he said he has 2 completely ready to go. And one just needs a few things, and then he came down and picked one up today from down here in Chambersburg at Forrester's, and is going to get that one finalized and ready to go. So let's go pulling.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of Snyder County, there was a female driving one of Vern's tractors last year for the very first time and won. Did you happen to know who that was?
Was there?
Yeah, I think her name was Kendra Barnhart.
Was it?
Yeah.
It was my second time down the track.
Oh, second time,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. I'm definitely partial to Snyder County. First pass and first win. So I'm pretty excited. Hopefully we can duplicate the last time I was at Snyder County.
Oh yeah.
But we'll see.
Absolutely.
I'd like to win again. I'm okay with that. But
I'm sure Vern wouldn't mind either, so that's great.
No. So we'll see. I do know that they are still planning on running next week, so I think they upped the start time because a lot of interest from pullers. Everybody's ready to get out and going.
Yeah, actually,
so
Joey.
Nothing but the best.
Joey Radel is actually in the chat right now, so if anybody has any questions for him, just visit him in chat there and ask him a question. And if you have a question for Kendra or Mike or myself, just put it in all caps so we can actually see it and read it for you. So we hope to have Joey on Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. That's our plans. I haven't talked to Joey 100% yet about that, but that's the game plan. So we'll see what happens. Joey, if you don't mind, if you can give us give us an idea or a little bit of updates while you're in the chat real quick here. We'll pass it along here. I'll see who's on there. So. But anyway, what can we talk about in Interstate? Is any new classes or rule changes or anything coming up that you know of?
Well, a lot of our changes are going to happen this winter. This is our rule change year. We do rule changes every 3 years, so we're still in the final phase of rule changes from 3 years ago or 2 years ago. So at the end of this season, if we have a season, which hopefully we will, all the classes will get together and go over their rule changes, rule change proposals. Haven't heard a lot of rumors yet for any rule changes. I know a lot of the classes are really happy with what they have. At least on the smoker side, I guess we'll say, the classes that I follow more frequently.
Right.
So I'm assuming everything is good to go. Haven't heard anybody really complaining about anything. Which unfortunately is where rule changes come from, is complaints.
Yes. Yep.
But yeah, hopefully everything will keep going. I know everybody's ready to get out. Everybody I talk to is disappointed every time a fair pool gets canceled, especially Grange Fair getting canceled.
Yeah, that
got the phones ringing. So
that was a biggie. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a hard one to see. I always really enjoy going to that.
Any of them is right now, believe me.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
scared to death to look at the internet every morning because who's next? But,
yeah, scrolling down through Facebook is not as fun as it used to be.
You got to kind of keep in mind, though. I mean, they got to put people in the seats. They got to pay the bills, and
exactly.
We spoke about that the last show. Just because you got a big crowd doesn't mean you're making big money. Believe me. But and then to have this, and state legislators, watching over your back. So
you're exactly right.
Getting people in, or people, how many people are going to want to come in and sit down and watch the show and be close to somebody else. There's a lot of variables to worry about. So.
Yeah. And I know, especially in Interstate, a lot of our promoters are pullers themselves.
Yes.
Or the puller is very closely involved with the promoter, and it's hard for them to cancel. It's hard when they're thinking about canceling because they're with everybody else. They want to go pulling.
Absolutely.
Yeah, talk to Guy Gokenauer down at Woodstock, and man, they want to go pulling something terrible, and they're trying to find every possible way to get a pull going. But when you don't have your sponsorships, because small businesses are taking a huge hit through all this, it's hard.
Yeah. I wonder.
And it's kind of like.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, you mentioned Woodstock is one I haven't been to since they've basically rebuilt the place, if you will. Really changed a lot of stuff around. I got to make plans to get down there sometime. Yeah. I hear it ain't nowhere near like it used to be, so.
No longer on the horse track. Everything's on the, I guess you'd call it the infield there.
Okay.
Put in a really nice track. I think it's like something crazy, like 450 feet long. So you can go all kinds of distance. Yeah.
Nice
and wide. Yeah. And you can still see everything great from the grandstand, if not even better, because it's further away from you. So it's a little bit better. You can see the whole track a little better.
Very good. Yeah, have to make plans to get down there sometime. Maybe this would be
July
the year.
11th, they're still on the schedule.
Okay. July 11th. I'm not sure. I have to look at these. I'm sure it's an open date at this point. So every time we turn around, we're getting canceled. So. But, July
and as
11th.
far as I know, their fair is still on as well. So you should have 2 opportunities to get down there this year.
Okay. That would be a Friday night.
They have a late fair, so. Huh?
Is that a Friday night, July 11th?
I think it's a Saturday. Let me scroll down here.
I mean, I don't know why they would. I know
yeah, it's a Saturday.
That's what I think.
Yep.
I was thinking something else. Very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now their fair pools are always on Sundays now, so.
Oh, okay.
They do Sunday evenings for their fair pool. That was a change, I think, last year or 2 years ago. I think they changed that up a little bit.
And they get pretty good crowds on the Sunday, I guess.
They really do. Yep. We all kind of, because of course they come to the interstate board meetings too, and we all kind of looked at them like they were crazy. Like Sunday pulls never work. Well, they made it work.
Okay.
So,
I'll be
yep.
back. Now, whatever happened to the Johnny Law tractor that your father used to run?
Yes, the Johnny Law tractor is in Virginia. Still kind of there in that Woodstock area. It is going to eventually be rebuilt as a light limited. The guy who owns it, I actually just talked to him a couple months ago, and he sent me some updated pictures. They kind of ran into some financial troubles there right after, he bought the tractor, housing market crashed, all that. Everything that could go wrong went wrong. But he has a teenage son now, and his teenage son's all into it. So hopefully we can see that back out on the track.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I'd love to be there for the first run because got a lot of memories with that tractor.
Maybe you'll get to drive it.
Maybe. He's got like 3 kids though, so they come first.
Take a number.
Yeah, exactly.
Very good. So what all do you do for Interstate, Kendra? I mean, I know obviously you drive for Fern when you can, but
yeah, drive for Vern when I can. I am the class rep for the Monturbo class and the Pro Farms. I help keep the points for the light limited class as well. Go to all the board meetings. I try to keep relations up with the promoters, make sure the promoters are happy at the pools that I'm at, answer any questions, just kind of be the all around, make sure everybody's happy person. Doesn't always work, but I try.
Yeah. It's hard to keep everybody happy, really.
Very hard to keep everybody happy.
Who are
but yeah,
some
my
of the
main
other...
job is,
Go ahead.
My main job is the class rep for the Pro Farm and the Monturbo class.
Okay. Who else are reps?
Mark Smith helps with the light limited class. He handles all the sponsorships and all that kind of stuff. Lisa Stoner does the small block trucks. Fran Stauffer does the modified class. I'm trying to think of all the other reps. Marianne Head does the classics. Trying to think of the lady that does the mini class. Her name's escaping me right now. Dave Bush still handles the modified trucks, the 6200 class. And I think that's about it. I think I covered all the classes.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. They still run a diesel class, I guess, 2.6 class or something.
That is one class that is still kind of up in the air. We tried to get a diesel truck class going over the winter, and there's a lot of interest in the truck class, but nobody wants to take responsibility and really, responsibility is probably not the right word. Nobody wants to commit to being like the class rep and making sure that everybody's following the rules, everybody's committing to go to the pool, go out there and find the hooks. Right. That's a big thing when you have a new class, is to have somebody to really go out and advocate for it.
Yep, absolutely.
And what we're really running into is there's so many places for diesel trucks right now. There's a lot of brush pools, there's a lot of, just about any weekend you can find anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania to go pool. So it's hard to get 10 trucks to commit to go to a full schedule for points.
Yeah, you stop and think about it, that's very true. Pennsylvania's a big state, and there's
Pennsylvania's a very big state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places to go play, for sure.
Yeah.
Just like
there is.
Dirt track racing, it's everywhere. So.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Mikey, you still with us? You got any questions, buddy?
No, I don't. Sorry, buddy.
Wow, that's a first.
Rendered him speechless.
Yeah. How about the Forester camp? How are they doing?
Oh, same old, same old. Tractors are sitting in the shop, ready to go, or not ready. You know, you never know.
That's understandable. I'm sure they stay busy. So.
Yeah. Yep. Jason's been super busy with farming and two girls that have very active social lives, and he's loving every minute of it. Scott Cascadden's been super busy with his chicken houses and the whole farming world. I do know he was excited to come pulling at Keystone. Hopefully, we can see him out on the track. Last year was a hard year for him to get out on the actual track. Cole's in with from the Air Force Academy. They shut that down.
Oh, wow.
So he's in, I think last I talked to him, through July. So, of course, he's chomping at the bit to go pulling anywhere he can. I think he'd even drive a farm stock right now if he could. He's ready to go. Haven't talked to anybody really about whether or not they're going to Snyder County. Because as you know, with the Foresters, they don't know what they're doing till the night before, and even then, it's up.
If then.
You
No
know.
offense to them, but we
Yeah,
know
no
how
offense. That's just how it is.
they're a busy family. That's for sure.
They are very, very busy. Great people, though. I mean, heck,
Yeah.
I've been around them for 8 years now, and wouldn't trade a minute of it.
Yeah.
The Light Limited boys, they're ready to go pulling too. Hopefully we can see some blue tractors on the track next week. I'm going to push for it, so we'll see.
I'm going to mention one name, Clayton Sweeney. Okay.
Oh, Clayton.
Now, is he going to be running this?
Is he going to be running?
Keystone
I
thing.
hope so.
I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come pull Interstate or play at the Dragon Motorsports Series. I'm not sure. But,
I think he goes back and forth. I don't think he can decide what he wants.
or pull off.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pull off. He's afraid. I don't think he wants to like get beat by me again. I'm sure that bruised his ego. I mean, anybody who follows us on Facebook has seen the picture of him on WZ 800 times since Keystone.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he's fun to pick on, that's for sure.
Oh, he takes a lot of fun to pick on. I enjoy that.
Just got to pull off, Clayton. Just pull off. One time. Pull off.
Yeah, I told him being out west, you know, when he was out there with them Midwest boys, man, they ruined him. I said, you got to get back to the way we do things on the East Coast.
Yeah, that's one thing I will say. I used to go to a lot of interstate events, and I got busy. Basically, just got busy with East Coast. But man, some of them guys would just. I mean, you look back at the Forester Nationals events used to have at Forester Farm Equipment, and I've seen some mod turbo tractors make 5 and 6 runs in one day, hard runs. It's just wow. Those guys will just run, that's for sure.
Yeah, we used to, even a couple years ago at regular pulls, I can remember we did pull-offs all the time. And it's hard on the equipment. You know, the equipment has come a long, long way. Right. Even mod turbos, Light Limiteds, everybody's making way more horsepower than they ever did before. And it's hard on the equipment. I mean, but at the same time, you don't build them to go to church in them. You know what I mean? So
that's a good way to put it, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't build them to drive to church. So
that's true. Yep.
So there's two ways to look at it. Clearly, I don't own the tractor, so if Vern tells me not to pull off, I won't. Right. But I also know he's not afraid to pull off either. Mm-hmm. I mean, he even says there was one year at Keystone, he pulled 3 times in one night. And I'm like, well, that's crazy, especially at Keystone. Something about
I remember that.
First puller. I think it was on Z Unit. The year he won was Z Unit.
Yeah, it was first puller, reset, then probably, I want to say, got in a pull off, most likely, and then had to point in.
So, and if that was finals night, there's only 8 tractors pulling. So
that was. I'm sure it was finals night. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a pull off. You know, some people view it differently. I like to see them still, but I also understand the floating finish, and that's basically all. That's what we do in East Coast. But it's
especially
exciting.
And especially the weeks where there's one week in August where we pull Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's hard,
Yeah.
especially when you're going to start making, four passes in 4 days is a lot.
Sure.
Then if you turn that to 8 passes in 4 days, you're asking for trouble.
Something breaks, and then you got a long night, a real long night.
Exactly.
So.
A very long night. And usually it's not just one thing that breaks. So.
No, I've seen Vern at a couple of events, probably Easton or something, go home with a couple of broke tractors. So.
Yeah, Easton is usually pretty hard on us, especially the April pool.
Yeah.
I think you posted a video one night and we drug all 4 tractors off the track. That's
That's
and I think we
unfortunate.
did that last year too. Yeah. But we go back every year, so.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Jamie puts on a good little show down there. I enjoy going.
Jamie puts on a great show.
Yeah.
He's an excellent promoter, excellent puller.
Yep.
He's a good guy.
Yep, absolutely. Yes, indeedy. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, that was a canceled event. Does he have one
they
scheduled
pushed it
later in
back.
the year?
Yeah, he pushed it back to April or to September. We used to pull down there twice. We used to pull there in April and September.
Mm-hmm.
He decided to drop his September event just because numbers weren't always there. As far as fans. So then, of course, when COVID hit, he said, "Hey, is my September date still available?" And we pushed him right back.
Very good.
So I think his pull is September like 18th or something. Let me scroll down here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll be September 18th.
Okay. September 18th.
Yeah, so hopefully we'll be opened up by then.
That sounds like a buck pull-off night, as usual. It usually is buck pull-off.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but this one's in your backyard, man.
What's that?
Easton.
Buck's a lot closer.
Oh,
Buck
is it?
Buck's only 20 minutes from me. So.
Oh, well, then yeah, you'd be crazy not to go to Buck.
I might get shot if I don't go.
Yeah, true. You have to send Tanner down.
That's a good idea. That's a good way to get rid of him for a night, isn't it?
There you go.
What do you think, Mike?
See?
Did we lose Mike?
Nope, I'm still here.
Oh.
She was saying we should send Tanner down on buck pull-off night to film Easton. I said, that's an easy way to get rid of him, huh? He's probably listening. I think he went racing tonight, dirt track racing with a couple of his buddies. I don't see him on chat, so I don't know. Hopefully they're okay. Well, I figured he would be in here, but I guess he's busy playing, so.
Yeah, that is one thing Interstate does lack is some good video. Every now and again you'll get on Facebook and see people tagging videos from the stands, but that is something Interstate is missing is somebody like yourself that just goes around and is committed to filming.
Well, I had plans, and Tanner also.
Yeah.
He was gonna, take and go to some interstate events and do some video, and me as well. But here we are. COVID.
The answer to everything. COVID.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So when you think of interstate, and what do you think is their grand event for the season? Their biggest event?
Our biggest event, the first thing that pops into my mind would have to be Harrisonburg, Virginia. Their fair pool, I know that it's not centrally located for a lot of people. Harrisonburg is always a huge event for us. It's 2 tracks, side-by-side pulling. The fair, the crowd is awesome. They pack them stands. Always a really good night of pulling. We get a lot of the dragon pullers from Virginia that come and support the event as well. I would say that has got to be one of the biggest number class or bigger numbers as far as pullers that evening. I think last year at that pool we had like 19 Mon Turbos, at least 15 light limiteds. Yeah, like everybody shows up. Always a super late night, especially for us. Harrisonburg's a trip. But I always really enjoy it. The pits aren't exactly the best, but you get through it, you deal with it.
Yeah.
Um,
It's okay as long as
but
it doesn't rain down there before you pull there.
exactly. Oh my gosh.
I've been hung up in the
I
mud there
could,
before, I know.
yeah. Yeah. One year we went down, they tried to start an event, a freestanding event in May. And a thunderstorm went through, man. We rode through rain the entire way down 81. We got there and the humidity was like 110%. Like it it was horrible. That was
Yeah,
not a good evening.
I bet.
But yeah, and I think their fair might have even got rained out last year. I can't remember. Seems like so long ago. But yeah, Harrisonburg would be a huge event. Shippensburg, their fair pool always usually brings out a lot of tractors too. That's always towards the end of July. That one unfortunately has been canceled. They canceled the fair this year. But Shippensburg's always seems to be one that everybody comes to. Everybody wants to come to.
Now, Shippensburg, I see they canceled the fair, but it says they may reschedule some fair events.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were referring to any of the polling or if you may have heard.
I have heard rumors both ways, so I don't want to speak on it.
Okay.
I know at least here locally, like where I'm at in Chambersburg area, and then down at my hometown pool there at Boonesboro, a lot of the 4-H clubs are still trying to reschedule at least that part of the fairs, just because it's not fair to the kids to have all these market animals
Right.
and not being able to sell them.
Wow.
So I know that a lot of people are trying to do that. The track events are kind of getting pushed to the side because that's top priority, which I totally understand. I was a 4-H kid. I know how disappointing it must be.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, a lot of these kids really work with their animals and really try to get the best of the best. I completely understand them wanting to make them top priority right now.
Sure that.
I mean, as much as I love pulling, I understand.
Well, we've seen both sides of it, so.
Exactly. I know from the promoting side, it's hard. It's really hard to go and ask for money right now to put on an event.
Correct.
Because everybody's struggling. You know, Walmart doesn't give out sponsorships. You have to go to your small businesses.
They're the ones that's really hit hard, for sure.
Yeah. So, and that's what a lot of promoters are saying is that, you know, it's not that the small businesses aren't giving money; it's they feel guilty asking. Right. So, we'll see what happens here. Things seem to be turning up, so hopefully we won't be getting as many cancellation calls here soon.
Let's hope so. Sounds like northern Pennsylvania is in pretty good shape here as far as progressing forward.
We had, 12 counties go green, I think,
something
on Friday
like
or something.
Something like that, yeah. Snyder County's one of them. Yay.
Snyder County's one of them. Let's go pull it.
Yeah. I'm sure they are chomping at the bit. And like I say, we'll have Joey on hopefully Tuesday at 8 o'clock. We can hopefully have some answers for us. And a few days after that, we'll be North Mountain, I guess. So hopefully.
Yeah. Yep. Now, I hope so.
Yeah. Let's hope. Mike, your fair in Cecil County, Maryland was canceled as well, correct?
Yeah, it was canceled this week.
Okay. So I guess they still had Mid-Atlantic Pulling Association put on events over there.
I believe they had like Mike Harvey and those guys putting on some kind of show.
Okay. So I'm sure obviously if the fair's canceled, they're done too. So it's a shame. Now they only do a couple of events a year, so that's quite a shock. So, but I have a lot of older interstate footage that I used to go to a lot of interstate events 8-10 years ago plus. I'm going to keep posting it. I try to post at least one video every day. So I try to mix it up. But I've got a lot of interstate stuff I got to get posted. So it'd be neat to see some older stuff, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know my guys love it.
Cool. That's good. Well, okay. Who else can we talk about in interstate? Any So you talked about the rules. I guess we're okay on the rules. We don't know of any changes. How about new events? You guys have any new events spoken of?
That's what I was just scrolling down through. We were supposed to be back out at Deep Creek Lake this year. Mark Miller is in the Mod Turbo class and the Pro Farm. Mighty Mouse. He was actually the head sponsor of Keystone this year. He's really gotten super involved in pulling. Super glad to have him with us.
Absolutely.
Super guy. Can't say nothing bad about him. Well, besides he canceled his pool, but we'll let that go. We were supposed to be out there in June at Deep Creek Lake. Was pretty excited about that one. I don't think we've been out there for, I think it's been 5 or 6 years, I believe, maybe even more than that. Scrolling down through here. I feel like there was one other one that's probably been canceled, which is why I'm not seeing it. Bear with me just a second here.
While she's looking, I'll take the time here to, if anybody's watching, which we have some on here, but take the time to subscribe, like, share, hit the thumbs up. That thumbs up button is very important on Facebook, on YouTube, and we'd appreciate it. Just give us a thumbs up and share the link, share the channel. We want to grow, man, and the more we can get in here, the better we'll be.
I found that pool I was talking about.
Okay.
The modified guys have been going there for a few years, but we finally got a points hook out there. Sussex, New Jersey, the New Jersey State Fair.
Yeah, I just saw
we were
that.
going to be there. Yep. Okay. I know Dale Forrester was really excited about going out there. I haven't been following New Jersey as far as the COVID thing. I'm sure that's why it was canceled. They canceled a little bit ago. That was another hard one to see go. I know Dale
I think
really
they work pretty closely with the state of New York, so I'm sure.
Then they won't be pulling at all this year, I'm sure.
Probably not. So I know New York ESP. I don't know how the eastern side's going, but I know the western side. They've had a lot of cancellations. So
yeah,
we
lost a couple pulls this year. Like you and Terry were talking about, like Berkeley County went the East Coast.
Yeah.
And honestly, at least with my classes, we still had over 20 hooks. So I know the guys are not, it always sucks to lose a pull, but when you still have 20 some hooks to go to through the summer, it's not always as hard.
Right.
Especially since most of the pullers, I won't say all, most of the pullers like to go to other clubs. Like last year I went to Canada pulling. That was an experience and a half. Would love to go back up there. Holy cow, those people are crazy. It was a great time. I thought I'd been to some wild crazy pools like out at Gordyville. Ain't got nothing in Canada.
Really?
Oh my goodness. Sure. There was a lot of stories that I can't share on YouTube. But it does give us the freedom to do that. To have a weekend off is kind of nice every once in a while. As much as we love pulling, and it's nice to have a break in your point series. To go to events like Snyder County and stuff like that.
It's very easy to get burnt out quick. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, that's for sure. So what is your largest class number-wise, you think, now in Interstate? When you look at all the classes, I won't necessarily say in members, but the way it's supported by the pullers themselves.
Our most consistent classes are definitely the small block trucks and the modifieds. They are very, very consistent. Most of their tractors that sign up for points run for points. Lisa's class, I think they're up to 10 or 11 trucks, and I guarantee you there will be at least 9 trucks at every event that they're at. That's pending breakage. None of those guys don't come just because they don't feel like it. And same with the modifieds. And that class, man, they work together. It's nothing to see somebody else loading up on another person's trailer, because I'm not going to be able to work on it this week. Can you? And that's awesome to see. They're at a lot of the light limited pools, so I do get to see them a lot. And it's always a good class to watch. You never know who's going to win. And to me, that's what makes good pulling.
Absolutely. Yeah, predictability is not good, in my opinion. I mean,
Exactly.
I won't say
I
not
completely
good,
agree.
but it's nice to see a variety. We'll leave it at that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And it's nice to see that tight point race at the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like Mod Turbo. I mean, they still have decent numbers in the class, but I think back to when I was going a lot to the interstate events. Man, I mean, there was 15 to 20 at every event. It was a
Yep.
very,
And now
it's
we
still a
only
good
get 15
class.
to 20. Yeah.
Let's,
Yeah, I always have a lot of people sign up for points. I think last year I had like 24, 25 tractors signed up for points. But a couple of those pullers also pull like Rick Fike. So if they're closer to his pools, they go to his pools, which I understand. You know,
absolutely, yeah.
if I can go to a pool 20 minutes from my house versus a pool 4 hours away, I'm going 20 minutes away most nights. You know,
Well, you might get in
people that
trouble
know
if
me know
it's
that
if
I'm
it's
crazy.
light limited or Mod Turbo running, you're not there. They're gonna come after you. So
Exactly. And it's really bad when there's multiple hooks on the same night and I have to pick and choose.
yeah, I see. I
So-
noticed a couple of years ago they have a north and a south
Yes.
point series.
So the way that started was we did that. I think this would be our 4th year doing that. And the reason that we started that was just because we had so many hooks. The year we started, we had 29 hooks in the Mod Turbo class. That's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And when you have the numbers to support a north and a south, you know, you have enough tractors from Virginia and Maryland, you have enough tractors from Pennsylvania, that yes, they can go to both pools, but they aren't tied to the points race. I believe that East Coast does it the same way. You get 40 points for first, 38 for second, 36 for third, on down.
We
It
started
very, very
actually.
hard.
Yeah, we started at 50 and come down to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
But
if you miss
same
one
idea.
hook, if you miss one hook, you can't make it up.
It's tough. Yeah.
It is very tough. So that was the main reason we started with the North and South. You still see pullers that are running the North Series going south. You still see pullers from Virginia going to Pennsylvania. It just kind of alleviates that, holy crap, I have to go to 29 pools this year. Everybody has families. Everybody has work. And we as Interstate recognize that and are trying to alleviate some of the burden of, we still want a tight points race, and that's the best way to do it, or the best way that we thought as an organization to do it. We had a huge meeting. It was actually down at my family farm. Had all the Mod Turbo guys, all the Pro Farm guys there, and it was decided as a class, and it worked out really well. The first 3 years we did it. Last year, it got a little sparse, but that was just because people sold tractors, people kind of got out of it. You know, the whole deal. Kids, new jobs. It just wasn't feasible for them to come pulling. But we'll see what this year brings. Hopefully, it works out again.
Yeah, that's good. Have you had any particular pullers win both the North and South title in the same season?
Man, now you're testing me. I know one year Vern won North and South, but it was with 2 different tractors. And I think that was it. I can't, without going back and looking at my spreadsheets and stuff, I couldn't tell you. I don't believe anybody else ever got North and South champion.
Oh, okay.
So and that helped also, you know, with the with the fact of it's not, you're not in trouble if you lose, if you miss the pool. That really helped.
Okay. Well, still, Fern runs what, 4 tractors? So to
Yeah,
even
exactly.
consider taking 4 tractors north and south, if that's what he's doing, that's
Yeah, he didn't miss a single pool that year. It was a lot.
that's crazy. And then
A
every
lot
now
of
and then,
fun.
yeah, he'll jump over and run our light. Well, we've only had one season of light pro, but he'll come over and
Yeah.
he's come over and run our super pro class too. So he likes
Yep.
to pull. I think he just likes to pull.
That dude, he's crazy. He's crazier than me.
Yeah. I'm sure he gets good support at home to get away and do what he
Yes.
does. So that's great. Very good.
Yep.
Very
He's
fortunate.
very fortunate in that.
Yeah,
Yep.
you bet. You bet. So, Mikey, you still with us? I see there's some questions in live chat there.
Yeah, I'm still here.
There's a Danny Haley in chat. He's from Kentucky. He's asking what the pulling schedule for this season. I don't know if he's talking about his area. He's from Harlan, Kentucky. Where
Say, I just seen that.
Yeah.
We don't get that far south.
Danny, I'd say probably look at propooling.com, ITTPA That's their national websites, but they have regional and state schedules on there as well. Give you an idea what may be pulling near you. And there's some other little clubs here and there around, but goodness, as far as knowing their websites off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you. But if you look at those two,
Kentucky's still pretty tied down, I think, right now. So that's going to be a big issue for them too.
There's a midsouthpullers.com. You can check with them too. That's they're Kentucky, Tennessee area. So that would be a couple places for you to check. I guess he heard me. I'm sure he did. Light Limited, you still follow them much, or?
Yes. I still keep track of their points for them. So that was an exciting end of the season last year, between Ben Flaherty Jr. and Smokey. They ended up tying for points, which doesn't happen. Yeah, they were tied points champions.
Okay.
I don't remember the exact details, but it came down to the last hook of the season. I believe there was, I don't know, it was over 10 points, I believe, that Ben Jr. had to make up. And the cards were in his favor that night, and he ended up doing it. Yeah, I wasn't there that night. I actually think I went up to Center Hall that night. And when I got the text, I was like, holy cow.
Yeah, that's 10
Super
points.
Happy for him. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, now do they have a tiebreaker?
No. They just split everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what East Coast does as well, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know NTPA, if any of theirs are tied, they go, I guess, by wins, and then if they both have equal wins, I know, if I could be corrected here, but they've gone as far as distance pooled to decide a champion. Now that's some good record keeping there.
That
to
sounds
decide
like a lot of extra work.
NTPA also goes by like seconds and thirds, I believe, JR.
Seconds and thirds, okay. Let's see,
I did think of one new rule change this year for Interstate as a whole. Always before, we only had one test puller. We kind of followed that with the Keystone thing. Only one test puller, and now we're going back to, if there's a sled reset, you are the new first puller. So we're getting back kind of with the like East Coast and them again. So
I did not know that it was different.
Yes. Yeah, we've been doing that for a couple years now. Probably a lot more than a couple. My years are running together. But yeah, we're going back to the new test puller after a sled reset.
Oh yeah, you would almost have to, I would think. But we used to have a one puller, first puller, and if the stud wasn't reset, you didn't come back. And that's the way East Coast used to be. Back in the, I think we might have been ETPA back then. But, that's, I guess maybe for the speed of the show it helped. Got rid of any of the sandbagging, if you will. I hate to use that term, but it eliminates that. But I never cared for it myself personally. But I'm not a puller, so.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's another thing that goes both ways, and you're never going to make everybody happy.
Yep.
You can understand both sides of the argument, but it's just something an organization like Interstate has to make that decision.
Yeah.
With the understanding you're not going to make everybody happy. So.
Yeah, actually, Danny Haley is in the chat here saying the governor in Kentucky has actually started easing some restrictions by phases, which is kind of what's going on in Maryland, but you ain't pulling into Maryland for a while, I can promise you that.
Yeah.
Hogan's got another
I'm still holding out hope.
Yeah, well, we all are.
Yeah.
But maybe later on, you get lucky. So. And Pro Farm, that's a pretty big class.
Pro Farm is a huge class.
Yeah.
It's a class that has a lot of the Snyder County hot stock tractors in it. And that's a class that has really taken advantage of the north-south points. And it really benefited a lot of the northern pullers because now they can run Snyder County hot stock points as well as Interstate Pro Farm. That's another one that had, I mean, they have 29, 30 tractors signed up for points. It's crazy. A very, very competitive class. They're another one that you never know who's going to win. And that's what makes a really good class.
Yeah, there are some incredible running internationals in there. I won't take anything away from John Foreman. He has a very strong run tractor, as do a few other ones. But there's a couple of internationals there. They have a lot of color too. Yeah. Yes, you bet.
You know, they got Cases, they have Fords, New Hollands, a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so. Case tractors, the guys, I'll tell you, man, their technology horsepower has really come a long way. The Fleets have really impressed me over the last few years. They've really done a lot of R&D, and they're tough. I'm telling you, they're tough, man. But, and I know the case you're referring to, a couple of them, the Strites.
Yeah.
Back, and they are always a strong runner. And that new Sunset Smoker, I think it's called.
That is actually Strites' old tractor. Yep, Strites sold that to him, and he's been running it.
I did not know that.
He had some major breakage last year, June or July, I believe it was. But he's definitely planning on being back this year.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, that tractor running. I saw it at Easton. First full of Easton.
Smoker.
Yeah. That was a good running tractor. Okay, I did not know that was Strites' old tractor. Okay.
Yes, sir.
See, you learn something new every day. That's why you're here, Kendra.
Yep.
Keep it straight.
Hey, glad to help.
That's it. Absolutely. And they're going antique pulling in northern Pennsylvania. Kenton Lead says there in chat. That's awesome.
Wow.
So,
that's awesome.
Northern PA's in pretty good shape. I mean, I know they still got to follow CDC restrictions and stuff, or policies, but whatever that is, I haven't read up on them. So, but I don't know how the crowds are going to go.
I think the key is to have a privately owned track. That's where you're getting to go pulling.
Well,
so
we can't say that about Sealands Grove, but they. I think.
But
I don't want to speak ahead of Joey, but I know they've made some proposals to their local people up there, and they're pretty good. So I think they'll get accepted. So I hope.
Yeah.
We're going to find out soon.
Yeah, communication is key. You know what I mean? Like, if you can tell them you're going to do everything right, you just got to hope they believe it.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll be looking. So I know them guys are going to do what they got to do to make sure everybody follows protocol. So that's good.
Yep.
So, truck classes, is it still pretty heavily followed with Interstate? A lot of pullers still contend, or?
The modified class, the 60 62 or 6,300. That we have seen those numbers kind of fade away. And I think that's mostly just down in Virginia, you have Dragon Motorsports, and not that we are a tractor-based organization, but Dragon really caters to them, and there's a lot of hooks down there for them. So they'd be silly not to go there. Plus, it's a lot closer. A lot of those guys are from West Virginia and Virginia. So they don't, it's just easier. It goes back to do I want to go 3 hours north into PA or drive an hour south into Virginia? So you can't fault them. I do know that they have been discussing making it more of an interstate thing and just kind of focusing it down in West Virginia and Virginia. But nothing set in stone yet.
Okay. Yeah, I know the 62 Street, that used to be a really big class.
Used to be a very big class.
Used to be pretty entertaining on the message boards back in the day, too. Boy, shoot. Kept me busy there for a while.
Yeah.
Man alive. But I tell you, you get them guys out on the track, man, they put on a good show. They really did.
They do.
And,
yes, sir.
I don't know how many hooks they have nowadays, but they used to be a pretty big class.
Yeah, they still do like some, I don't want to call it invitational, but they will still have some pools at like down in Luray. Jefferson County still has a class for them. And there's one other one I'm missing. They're at Harrisonburg some, but it's still mostly down in the West Virginia and Virginia areas.
Okay. I don't see any more questions. Okay.
So yeah, I think we've about covered everything.
Yeah, I was just sitting here trying to dig up dirt here, but I don't want to dig the wrong way here.
Yeah, there's some dirt I can't spill.
Nah, we don't want to do that. But,
no,
well,
don't get me in trouble.
What's that?
I do that enough on my own, getting in trouble. Don't get me in anymore.
No, we wouldn't do that. But, well, that's good. We're getting close to an hour here, so we try to go at least an hour. But that's good. I'm glad to hear.
Flies.
Interstate's just pretty much in the same pickle. No offense, Norman. That everybody else is for just waiting to get the go ahead. And it's COVID. What can you do?
Yep, waiting for the green light.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we know. I think Snyder County's in pretty good shape for next Saturday. So.
I agree. Yep, I agree. I think Snyder County is going to have more equipment there than they know what to deal with, and I think they're excited about it.
Yeah, we'll have to see what happens. Like I say, I'm looking forward to Tuesday night and seeing what Joey's got to say, and hopefully he's got some good, solid answers for us, and we can go on. So I agree. I expect. I got to look at the classes again, but I know back in October, man, they had a heck of a show. A lot of tractors. Pretty impressive show. That's for sure.
I think, if I remember right, I think it was 111 hooks.
It was very late getting home at night, trust me.
Yeah.
But I had a good time. Very, very good time. Okay.
Yeah, I think we didn't leave there. It was morning until we left.
Well, when you celebrate your first win all night, what do you expect?
I know. I was.
I'm surprised you even went home at night.
I think I flew home, actually. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a good night.
A strong run. Yeah. That's I should have put that up. Actually, I'll have it up on Tuesday probably whenever we're doing Joey's.
Good deal.
We'll
I'll be looking for it.
Put some classes on the. I don't know why the volume was playing tonight. I apologize to everybody for that. It's a learning curve still. So, but the good thing is, like I was saying, we did a bunch of testing before we did our first show, and as soon as I went to start the first show, we had a lot of problems that weren't there before. Tonight was perfect. So everybody was logged on early and ready to go.
Good deal.
I think we're good to go. So. Mike, you still with us?
Yeah. Yes,
you gotta say something. I mean, at least.
Sorry, man. I'm just listening.
Tanner would have talked by now. Come on.
Well, the boy's got a big mouth too.
Here we go. Slinging mud already. I got to put up with both of them next week, and that's a long ride. So. Okay. Well, we're at an hour, so if you anything you want to add?
No, I think we've about covered everything.
Okay.
Until we can start hitting the green button and actually going pulling, then I'll have a lot of things to say. But
Yeah, for sure.
now, like you said, it's just COVID. So
Yeah. Well, hopefully we can kick its butt. And
yeah, that's the
I'm
plan.
ready. For sure. Okay. Well, we thank you for coming on, and we'll probably
No
have you back on
problem.
again to get some more interstate updates. Stuff starts kicking
Sounds
loose here,
good.
so we'll be hollering for you.
Yep.
So
And we'll see you next week at Snyder County.
I'll be there. If it rains, I'm going to scream.
Oh, me too.
It better not rain. I've had enough. It's
Yeah,
time to go play.
Same here.
So, yeah.
Same here.
So, we appreciate everybody checking in tonight, and like I say, make sure you hit that thumbs up for us and hit the notifications bell and subscribe and share the page. We want to grow this and get bigger in the future, and we'll get some pullers in on here, and hopefully we can get some pool updates to go with and some pools to preview if we can ever go pulling on a regular schedule again. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you Tuesday, 8 p.m. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, JR.
Yes, you're welcome.